You ever feel like you just screwed up so bad you can't recover? Well, I feel you. And that's why, while you watch me draw this, let's talk about the 5 biggest failures in my art life from this year. What happened, why they happened, and then in your own life, let's consider, how do you recover? So at the outset today, this is not going to be a video where you see me crying and moaning and blubbering about what happened to me. I'm not going to be like that, okay? And look, I just really wanted to make this day because I'm not perfect. I'm not ideal. I'm not trying to be this paragon of perfection for artists like you. I just want to be human. And we all deal with failure at all levels. And I want to help you through that today. And so if you've never met me before, by the way, my name is Dr. Sean, and welcome to the Art Mentor. I had some unique challenges, and no matter what level of artist you are, like me being a professional, or you who's just an artistic dabbler, you who's just a hobbyist, you who's trying to grow yourself into being an artistic professional like me, then you are going to deal with failure at every level. It never goes away. But what I want to show you today is how I experienced 5 big failures from this past year. And then also, I discovered that there are 6 truths and takeaways that you've never heard about failure and how this helps you. And I'm happy to share that with you because nobody has ever talked about this. So now let's get into every way that I screwed up this year. All right, here comes big time failure number 1. And this is going to sound so contradictory to anything I've ever said on this channel before. But I approached this year, walked right into it, with no goals. I know, please. You can get back up into your seat if you need a moment because you've fallen off. Go ahead and hop right back in and then re-engage with this friend. Because that's right, I didn't make any goals for this year and I'm a big goal-oriented person. I just want to let you know though that that is not from burnout. I'm okay. It's not from a lack of focus. It's not from me, taking my foot off the gas. It's not because it's that dog in me stopped barking. It was literally though because of the fact that I had one big thing I had to accomplish at the start of this year, and that was finishing my dissertation for my doctoral program. And this was such a colossal undertaking. If you don't know what that is, because a lot of times I see people ask that in the comments, well, what is a dissertation? It's basically you write a book. I wrote a 271 page, 79,001 word book. And that was such a colossal task, okay? And now that that's done, and as I'm literally about to walk across the stage at my graduation, and I'm formally and officially Dr. Sean, and I realized that even that monumental task, a better way to approach it is to go ahead and break that down into smaller tasks. So for me, it was writing down my quotes. For me, it was writing a page a day. For me, it was making sure I read one thing every single day or 10 pages of a book every single day for an entire year. And so for you, friend, as you've maybe been a person that has a big goal, like it is to move out of your parents' house. If your goal is to settle into being a new parent, okay, then break down those tasks. What do you have to acclimate to and what little steps encompass the large overreaching goal there, okay? But also on this note, I'm not giving you permission in this statement though to say oh, I need to grow my fundamentals. That's not a goal, that's a wish. But if you have something big and overarching like that, it's okay for you to have that be your focus. Break it down into smaller goals, so therefore it's more achievable though. How's that sound? Big failure number 2 incoming, and this one hit me like a nuclear bomb. And honestly, I thought I might be able to get by a little bit more time in my professional life without this happening. And I experienced my very first PayPal chargeback. Have you ever been worried about this? Have you ever thought that, oh my God, what if I get a PayPal dispute? What if somebody tries to rip me off? Your boy experienced it first time. And just to detail it very lightly, honestly, it didn't even happen with my art. It happened with my mentorship. And that hit me like a huge sack of bricks, honestly, because I put so much time and effort into the students in my mentorship. And if, you bet in it or if you are in it and it's helping you, please let people know down below. I literally spend 10 to 12 hours a week helping the mentees that are in my program. And I had one person, however, though, from this past year, right at the end of it, and it happened right during Christmas, which was perfect timing when everybody wants money troubles, right? I had somebody, they went through my program, and they were cool with everything that we were doing, and all of a sudden they had a bipolar shift, and they decided, nope, not good. And they wanted all their money back. And I had spent all this time with them. And it was like, no, that's not how life works. I'm sorry about that. You can't buy a gym membership and then not go and then assume that you're going to get your money back because you didn't make the effort. And so I went on this weird emotional roller coaster with it, right? Because I'm stupid proud of my mentorship and the people that have been in it and the results that people have gotten from it. And then I have this person that made me question everything. Like I almost had that moment where I was just like, should I even do this anymore? Is this even worth it? God, what a pain. That really forced me to look inward and say like, you know what? Like the more I study this, because I had to fight PayPal on it, just to let you know right now, I won. I won my PayPal dispute. It took me 4 months to recover all the money from it, but I did. But my biggest takeaway that I also got from this one was that first and foremost, this made me refocus and show appreciation for the people that I do work with, not just in my mentorship too, and my clients overall too, that I'm working with as well. And to show appreciation for the other people in my life, to show appreciation for my family, to show more appreciation for the people that spend time with me, for just overall showing that appreciation and going through that hardship made me think about how I need to make sure that I'm focused and how I'm directed in my time and my efforts and how that is going to come back to me eventually. Because I had this moment of doubt going through the situation where I was like, oh man, maybe I'm just not cut out for this, or maybe I'm just not interested in it anymore. And sometimes you experiencing a failure like that is going to twist your perspective. So be careful about that. Rolling into number 3 now. This one took me by surprise, and I'm not gonna lie, I also, just like my last one, I'm a little bit surprised that this never happened to me before, and I somewhat expected it. But I got my first hate video. Have you seen this thing? Well, it's interesting. But I got somebody who actually watched my content, recorded it, and then made a hate video about it, where they basically just slander the crap out of me. Didn't see that one coming. Look, I'm not stupid here. I know that every single time I make a video that's opposing AI art and the trash and slop that it is, no matter how good people say it's getting, because it's not, I know I'm kicking a hornet's nest. But my last video that I made about AI art, I knew, I was like, this might be the one that does it for me, and it happened. And look, it summoned like such a weird feeling. Like I was unsure how to feel. I was like, okay, should I respond? Should I comment on their video? Should I reach out to them? Should I offer for them to be on my channel and then we dispute it? And I even reached out to my mentor, Tyler Edlin, and I was like, hey man, what do you think I should do about this? And it was just so strange to me. Like I never really had somebody like make fun of my appearance, make fun of my opinions. And it was weird. It was just strange. I'd never prepared myself for that. But on another note too, not only was I disappointed that it happened, but I was also disappointed because the video sucked. It was so incredibly lame and boring. It was like rough to get through. And nonetheless though, my biggest thing that I kind of learned and I took away from that experience though, was that first off, it proved my points about AI bros. It proved my points about their flawed philosophies, about their inexperience, about how amateur they are, about how they have this newness bias about, you know, their little sloppy craft. And the other thing too is that I just want to let you know, friend, the more impact that you make in your life, especially the greater impact you make, the more dissenters you are going to invite. And that can be the form of some rando troll online, or it can also be in your family. It can be in your friend group. It can be when you start to do better than other people, and all of a sudden they're going to pipe right up and start telling you about, it'll never work. Just you wait and see. And that is normal, because honestly, the best way I've ever heard it expressed to you, and I will reconvey to you, is this. People want you to succeed, but not more than them. And I really experienced that a lot this year. And this experience taught me how true that is. Next, let's talk about my 4th failure from this year, which I'm definitely not proud of and probably a little embarrassed to admit, but it happened. So nonetheless, I put on some weight this year, and to give you a number for that one, about 15 pounds. And that one was hard. You know, you ever have that feeling where you like see yourself in a picture and you're like, ooh, I don't remember that roll being up on there. Like you zip up those pants, you got that muffin top hanging up over a little bit, and you're like, yeesh, I don't remember that being there. And so that nailed my confidence a little bit. Like, again, I'm somebody that puts myself on camera for you all once a week and hopes that nobody will ever say anything about the way that I look. And nonetheless, though, like, I'm constantly in front of people all the time, every single day, outside of my family. And it hit me a little bit. And one of the things that I definitely didn't want was I did not want to fall into the trap, like so many other doctoral students, while they're doing their studies, to go ahead and just pack on tons of weight. And I didn't want to be Dr. Lard Butt. And so one of the things that I kind of started to do here is I said, like, okay, I got to get a handle on this one early so that I don't blow up, because I've been like 100 pounds heavier than I am right now, and that did not make me feel good. So I always roll back to that one. And so I started to really recommit to my health while I was also committing to my creativity. And so I started to meal prep this year. I literally, like, I go to Costco and Sam's Club and I buy in bulk really cheap things that I can go ahead and I can make like an entire month's worth of lunches for. And it's literally like $30, $40 a pop. I literally just follow different people on Instagram that do this, and it's awesome. It's changed my life. All right. And so along with that too, I started to recommit more to my exercise. Like, I started pumping myself up to doing like 6-7 days a week. I didn't mean to 6-7 you, but I guess I kind of did. And sorry if I made you cringe right there. Don't click away, for the love of God. I love you. Please don't leave me. And another big takeaway that I got from this one is that if you are somebody who is really lacking in some confidence, if you're somebody who is not feeling great about themselves, and how that trickles into your creativity. A lot of times we don't consider this, but it's the honest truth. If you take care of your physical vessel, your body right here, your creative vessel can expand. You can grow from it. If you're not taking care of one, you will not take care of the other either. Many times we sacrifice our physical vessel or glorify it like it's okay, and it's not. And that's where creativity suffers too. Because the best way I want to describe this for you is that if you take care of yourself physically, you can be creative in style. How's that sound? And my final failure that I experienced this year, and again, this might sound weird for me, but I had less art clients this year. And I just want to put this out there at the forefront here. It's not because I didn't try. It's not because of AI. It's not because of a dwindling art market perception that you have, nor is it because of the economy, because I'm sure you've heard about that one. It's literally just because I did not make the time and room in order to take as many clients. Again, I spent like 10 hours plus a week writing, researching, planning out my dissertation this year. And I did not have time to service as many clients. So where I would normally serve like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 3 to 5 clients every single month, I was down to like 1 to 2, because that's what I could handle at the moment. And nonetheless, though, that time in that space allowed me to also, by the way, increase my pricing. It allowed me to increase my potential and increase my artwork too. And I even enrolled in mentorships because I wanted to get better, not just for me, but for you, so that I can teach you how to get better too. And if you want to continue to learn how to get better, please consider hitting that like and subscribe, because I'm here for you every single week, just like this, rolling out great, valuable art advice and great art business advice like you don't hear from most people. And if this is helping you, by the way, please share with some other artists that you know, because I know somebody needs to hear this. And so what I took away from this year was that I started to ask myself really important questions, which is how? How do I improve? How do I raise my pricing? How do I achieve what I want to? How do I get higher value clients? And that, as we'll talk about in a minute, that is one of the most valuable things that only failure can teach you. And so that kind of got me thinking about everything that's happened to me this year. And I was like, all right, well, what do I do from here? Because you can feel down from it, or maybe it shields something else that we should pay attention to. Now, it was around this time when I was reflecting back upon this, and I was considering, like, do I make this video, or is this like a really embarrassing, dumb take? The last thing I wanted is to be like one of those cringe YouTubers that just throws themselves on camera crying for a little bit of attention. And so I thought to myself, well, you know what? I really want to convey something meaningful for you, friend. And I started to think, well, what do I have to learn from failures? And contrary to what you think, you might be thinking that you will learn best when you accomplish something and when you finish something or when you hit some level. And the thing I want to let you know is that failure is always going to be the best teacher. You will learn far more in defeat than you will in victory. When you win big, you don't have much to think about other than, how do I repeat this? You have so much more to consider when something doesn't go right. And so then that got me really deeply thinking about, well, what are some things that I wish I knew? And the other people like you, what do I wish you knew about failure? And so right now, let me just go through real quick. What are the 6 truths about failure that you have never heard? First truth I want to let you know is that your interpretation is always going to be worse than the event of it. And so let me just put it to you like this. Have you ever known somebody that went through something similar or worse than what you're currently going through? And you've said to yourself, oh my God, like, how do they do this? How are they okay? And I'm just a huge ball of a mess of a human being. And the difference is always the interpretation of the event. Because as the Buddhists say, you will suffer more in imagination than in reality. And so what that means is that oftentimes we tend to reflect and we push meaning on it. Or you might have even, just to give you another example, have you ever had like a full-on disagreement argument with somebody and then you learned that you just fully misunderstood them? That was because of your interpretation of what you thought they were trying to do or they were trying to say or they did, not the factual reality, or you never gave them the opportunity to explain, did you mean it like that? Is that really what you meant? And so when something happens to you, like when I got a PayPal chargeback, like when I put on weight, oftentimes a big interpretation that we start to have is that, oh, we're a loser, we're a failure, we can't do anything with our life, so on and so forth. And then you replay that in your head like it's a movie. Like, what's a movie that you hate? Would you just watch that movie on repeat? Or what's a food that you hate? Would you just repeat that over and over and over again? Like for me, I hate mayo. Like if I eat mayo, I'm going to throw up. I can't stand it. I wouldn't sit there with a big old bowl of mayo and just keep shoveling that into my mouth and going like, oh my God, this is disgusting. Oh, I can't stand it. But that's what interpretation does. So once you accept what's happened and move past it, then the key to your freedom lies right there. Number 2, failure is always in relation. And so the biggest reason why you're going to get upset about your failures is because you're comparing it. But to whom? And to what? And is that fair? Like, if you feel like you're a failure of an artist, compared to who? Because literally, there's 99% of the global population that is not an artist, that gave up art after elementary school. But you haven't. So are you comparing your art versus somebody who works at Blizzard or Riot and you're just starting out? That's not a fair comparison. In relation, yeah, you would be because you're not there and they are. Or are you comparing your freelance journey versus somebody like me that's been doing it for over a decade? That's not a good comparison. Or maybe you had a big goal to earn so much money through your art this year and you came a little shy of it, like maybe sell at conventions and you didn't quite hit your goal, that one big convention where you thought you were going to strike it big. And that didn't happen. Okay, well, in relation to that, yeah, maybe you were a little shy of it, but at the same time, there's plenty of people that leave in the red. Or, here's a big one too, you're going to look at your past failures and be like, oh my God, look, I failed at this because I failed at X, Y, and Z, because my mother, my aunt, my father, my guidance counselor told me I would be a failure, and I was a failure. So the more that you look at things in relation, the worse you're going to feel about it. But if you start to compare yourself versus your past self, you're going to feel much better about it. It's going to be way easier for you to interpret it. Number 3, every single failure births valuable questions. And questions are where you grow. Because let me just reverse this for a second to explain this. The worst thing, the absolute worst, most trash thing that you can do when you're met with any type of defeat, any type of setback, is to just give in to the circumstance. And along with that, continually accepting undesirable outcomes that you don't want to have happen. And what you want to avoid doing is saying things like, oh, this is just how it is. It's who I am. I'm always going to be poor. I'm never going to be a good artist. This is just the way it is. These are trash statements because you're making statements. Or on the other note, you might be like, why me? Why does this always happen to me? Why can't I do this? Because your brain fills in those gaps and it answers that question where it's like, well, why can't you get clients? Because you suck, man. That's why. But these are really low quality, low value questions. Like when I was considering my goals here on YouTube or my income, or how I was going to go ahead and fix my chargeback situation. I started to ask myself, okay, how do I do this? How do I make this better? How do I attract higher quality, higher value clients? How do I increase my skills? How do I do this? See, a lot of times you want to do more. And doing more is not about actually doing more. It's about figuring out how you do more easier, not doing more and doing it harder. And a big note on that one, the biggest question you ask yourself for whatever you're going through is, how do I make this easier? Once you unlock that, that's the biggest cheat code to your life getting better. Number 4, failure obscures a starting line. So what I mean by that is that oftentimes when you experience some type of a setback, and again, if it's something that you've continuously had issues with, like I've always had problems with weight and food, my relationship with that, and I think that it becomes really easy for you to just give up and give into it. Oh, I've always been fat. Oh, my whole family's big, which my family, for the most part, is all big, okay? And that's something that I grew up a lot with, and I accepted until I stopped accepting it. And it tends to feel like, oh, you were just put so far back, it's impossible. Oh my God, look at you. You're 35, you're never going to be an artist. Hey, you've never had clients and you're 42. Good luck with that. No, that is never going to be the case. Like, look, me, I started my YouTube channel a year after COVID. I wish I started it a year before COVID. Maybe I'd be sitting here with a silver plaque behind me, but that's okay. It is never too late. It is never too late to start. It's really easy to trick yourself into, though, and falling into that trap. But it's not true. Failure obscures that starting line, and you have to start the race if you ever want to participate in it. Number 5, failure should always summon appreciation. And so one of the biggest reasons that this is difficult is when you're experiencing hardship, you focus on yourself. When you focus on yourself, the more that you focus on yourself and the way that you feel in getting consumed with those negative emotions, because real talk, no one's ever depressed or anxious or anything because they're overwhelmed with happy emotions, right? The worse you're going to feel and the worse it's going to make you feel about the situation. If anything, it'll only reinforce your current situation, what you want to get out of, right? And so the best combat for depression and feeling bad about a situation in that moment is for you to get the focus off of yourself. Focus it onto other people. So for me, I started to focus a lot more on how do I help more people on YouTube? How do I help more people on my mentorship? When I have my chargeback, how do I bring more value to my clients? How do I show everybody how much in my life I appreciate them? And that includes you for being here today too. I appreciate that. But the more that you take that lens off of you and your poor feelings and start to put it out there on how you can make someone else's day better, the more that's going to help take you out of what you're currently lost in, my friend. Next, everything in your life is going to be limited to the extent of your mindset. And so usually what I find a lot of artists do here is that they're going to blame their art skills, their upbringing, their birthplace, the market, the economy, all these things. And the thing I want to let you know is that we will only grow to the extent of our mindset. A lot of times people think that their business is capped because of just they don't know a marketplace or they don't know how to market themselves. And that is rarely ever the case, that it's that simple. Like 1% of the times is that true. Consider the way that you expand your thinking or lack thereof, the way that you hold yourself better than you were born into, the way that you respond to failures and setbacks like this. That matters more. And your business will not grow beyond your mindset. And so look, we all deal with hardships. We all deal with rough things that have happened. We've all been placed in situations that were entirely unfavorable and honestly, probably unfair to you. But the best quote I've ever heard I want to share with you about this is that we are born looking like our parents and we die looking like our decisions. I'm going to say that again just to make sure that that hits you well. We are born looking like our parents and we die looking like our decisions. Regardless of what circumstance you are put into, what that means is that you are thrust into things that you don't want, but it is not your fault. It is your responsibility, though, to take care of it and to grow up as an adult, as somebody that can tackle that and not succumb to it. And I tell you this, friend, because your worst prison in your entire life you'll ever be stuck in is your mindset. And you will either nurture your mindset or fall victim to it. Now, what this also got me thinking about, though, around the time that I was considering these things that have happened to me and how it did and it didn't help me for this year. Because I kind of realized, like, I think that we as artists, we have a lot of unique struggles. And very specifically, I think that there are certain types of people that hold us back, and we invite those people into our lives. And to let you know who your targets are, go ahead and check out this video right here. And if this video helped you, please share with someone that you know. Thanks so much and see you next time.